Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is C Chronicles. If you're wondering what the C stands for, my name is Cecilia. Thank you very much for coming to my channel. If you are returning, I appreciate. And if it's your first time here, I do fragrance reviews, lifestyle videos, and fashion videos. So if it sounds like something that you're interested in, please don't leave without clicking that subscribe button. I looked in my collection, guys, and I happened to come across fragrances that I have that are from Middle Eastern houses that actually smell the same. So I thought to give you a video about it. I wasted my money, you don't have to waste yours. So I am bringing you fragrances in my collection that smell identical. I have two from one house and another one from a separate house. These fragrance houses that I'm going to talk about here do not claim to be doing inspired versions, but I think I can safely say they are doing inspired by versions. They're cloning fragrances or popular designer fragrances, right? This fragrance is in my collection. It's YSL's Manifesto. So I've had this one for a while, and then I happened to blind buy some Middle Eastern fragrances, the first one being pleasurable. And when I sprayed it, I realized, no, I have smelled this before, and it is identical to YSL's Manifesto. Right? If you haven't watched the video, I did a full review video of pleasurable. You can go. I will link the video in this. In the description of this video. I will link the review I did of pleasurable by Rave. But in that video, I spoke about it and likened it to Very Irresistible by Givenchy. But after using it for a while, it leans more towards YSL's Manifesto. So I thought I should tell you this so that if you are wondering about this fragrance, if you already have it, if you have Manifesto, it's not going to be interesting for you to buy this fragrance and then realize it's a replica really of what you already have. However, if you're looking to buy a cheaper version, an alternative, because most of these fragrances from the clone houses are quite affordable. If it's something that you're looking for, if it's something that you're interested in, or you want to try out the Manifesto vibe by YSL, then this would be something that I'll recommend. So Rave is a Middle Eastern house, and this fragrance is called Pleasurable. But like I said, I've got three that I wanted to show you today. The other two, the first one was this one that I've just put down is the first one. The other two are from the same house, Verve. I've always said I don't know whether it's pronounced as Verve or VURV, I'm not sure. Okay, this one's called Timeless. I did a full review of Timeless, right? This one also smells identical to Pleasurable. So if you've got Pleasurable, if you've got this Timeless by Verve, there's really no need to buy both because they smell the same. However, what kind of confuses me is why the same house, which is this Verve, would have another one that smells exactly like the other one. This one's called Waltz Dior. It's by Verve, and it smells identical to Timeless, and it smells identical to Rave. But I can understand why it would smell identical to the first one, which was Rave, because Rave is a different company. Now these two, Verve, are the same company, and they have the same fragrance packaged in a different bottle, but that smells exactly the same. This is what I'm talking about, guys. So these are the two fragrances that I'm talking about from Verve, and that's why I said I am giving you this video so that you don't have to waste your money. You don't waste your money like I did. I bought mine as blind buys. These fragrances I'm talking about today do not break the bank. But at the same time, it is quite disappointing, to have one fragrance that smells exactly the same like the other, and you wonder why. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of some background or a bit of information about how these three fragrances smell like. These are all heavy fragrances. They've got the blackcurrant in there as a note. They've got some vanilla, some cedar, some sandalwood, and some bergamot. They are quite mature. The three fragrances, like I said, they're quite mature. I'm going to rate them though, so that if it sounds like something that you're interested in, you'd know exactly which one you want to buy. So I'm going to rate them out of 10, although they are the same or they have a similar vibe. I will rate them out of 10. Okay, like I said, these are fragrances that are inspired by, according to me, YSL's Manifesto, because I own my YSL's Manifesto. So I know this is exactly the same vibe that this company was going after. Okay, these are all heavy fragrances. They are creamy, they are a bit powdery, they have a sweet tonka bean in there. Okay, I'm not too big on tonka bean, but the way the tonka bean is done in all these three fragrances is not, to me, I can tolerate. I'm not too keen on tonka bean, like I said, but the way it's done, it's beautifully done in these fragrances. Okay, they turn a bit powdery, the vibe is sort of like the 90s vibe. If you've used Manifesto by YSL, you know it's got that vintagey vibe to it. It's not a very well, I know it's subjective, but to me it's not too modern. It's got that vintage feel, the 90s feel. It's a bit synthetic as well, which is what I get from these three clones. There is some nuttiness to it. And like I said, it's got, they all, I think, or I believe, have blackcurrant, although the Middle Eastern fragrance houses do not, you know, they're not big on putting out the notes out there. You kind of have to make out the notes, or you sniff them and you know, okay, this is quite similar to this. So that is what I get from these three fragrances. But like I said, I will rate them, you know, I will rate them compared to what I believe they are cloning, which is YSL's Manifesto. Okay, the one that I would say is closest would be this one, which is Timeless. Timeless is closest. It's crisp, it's sharp, it's long lasting, it's very similar, to a point where if you sprayed it and you asked somebody who used Manifesto what they think you were wearing, they would probably think you were wearing Manifesto by YSL. Okay, so this I'd give a 10 out of 10 as a inspired by fragrance, or as a clone, or as a dupe. The next one that is closest is this one, Waltz. This I'll give a 7 out of 10, simply because I think it's a bit it lakes in that creaminess. It's slightly shyer, you know, it's not exactly in your face. The heaviness is a bit toned down in this one, but it's exactly the same vibe. So it's a softer take. However, it does have that long lasting appeal to it, but it's a softer take. It's not in your face. So in terms of rating, I'd give this one a 7. Okay, and then the last one is going to be Pleasurable. In comparison, this I'd give a 5, simply because this one takes the sweeter notes. You know, it's emmed up on the sweetness to a point that there is a divide. Some might actually liken this one to a bit of La Vie Belle, because it is syrupy sweet. You know, that crispness that you get in the other three is kind of lacking in this one, but at the same time it does have the same the similar vibe. It's also beast mode in its own capacity, but in terms of whether or not it's a match, as in would I say it's a clone, it's got the similarity, but it doesn't quite tick all the boxes, in the sense that this one turns super sweet, super heavy, and a bit heavy, headache inducing as well. These other two here remain crisp. So these I'd say are the closest interpretation as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, there you have it, guys. I was giving you fragrances in my collection that are similar, or that smell the same, which I feel, you know, I've bought mine as blind buys. You might wonder why I did buy them in the first place. I bought mine as blind buys, but when they turned up, I realized, okay, this is almost one and the same thing, especially with this house called Verve. I do not know why they do it, but for some reason they will repackage the same fragrance in a different container and boom, put another name to it. But as soon as you open it, you know it's exactly what you already have. So yeah, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. I was talking about Middle Eastern fragrances, which are similar to a designer fragrance that I have, a popular designer fragrance that I have, and I've given you my take on them. You can try them. These are not fragrances that will break the bank. You know, these are fragrances that you can afford to buy with, you know, a bit of some change here and there. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you find it helpful. My name is CeeChronicles. Do please remember to subscribe, comment, like, and share, and turn on notifications so that you are notified anytime I upload a video. And remember to always smell fabulous, because it is a form of good manners. Cheers.